Hey, how's it going, guys and gals? Welcome back for this week's episode of the INNSider Gaming News Talk Show. I'm joined by Drunk Canadian, Paul, and Kitty Crusade for another week. Sorry, guys, we were missing last week. Everybody was kind of just coming back from the holidays, doing all the fun stuff, and also kind of some people, I think you guys were sick, or somebody was sick.
That was me. I was not feeling well.
Yeah, I don't blame you. After the holidays, everybody gets a little sick. I mean, wait, but just kidding. But yeah, there's a lot of different stuff coming up this week. I mean, this week has been kind of busy, surprisingly, with a lot of the CES stuff, which not a lot of it is related to gaming, except for quite a few things, or a few things we're talking about today. And also some other like kind of industry big stuff, like one of our big top stories for today, obviously, is the Bungie Activision split, which is just kind of shaking up a lot of things right now, and everybody's kind of hopeful and optimistic, and also like scared for Destiny all at the same time. Like I've heard a myriad of different thoughts on these things, but we'll have to dig in that one here in a little bit. Well, I guess we'll start out. We'll see what have we been playing this week, guys. Like what has been our thing, or your guys' thing this week?
For me, had a LAN party, believe it or not, and got back into Sea of Thieves for like 2 days, which was pretty fun. And then the rest of the time has been back chiseling away at CSGO.
Nice. What about you, Kitty?
I've been doing Slay the Spire mods a ton now that it's easy, which I'm going to talk about for a little bit in a sec. Other than that, watching AGDQ a ton, so I haven't been playing as much, actually. Watching all the speedruns and such.
Nice. Yeah,
that's right, that's on this weekend.
Yeah, it's like day 6 already.
Yeah,
they already hit $1 million.
Oh man, I love AGDQ. I've been watching a lot of that too. But for what I've been playing, I've just been playing a lot of Hearthstone, and just actually yesterday we were setting up a bunch of stuff at the esports stadium, and everybody came over afterwards, and we all played Smash and Just Dance. This is the first chance I got to play Just Dance 2019.
I don't know if you guys happened to catch it when I was in Canada. I did a Just Dance stream with
I missed it, and I'm very sad.
It's the VOD's still up. The VOD is still up. I'm actually like,
I gotta check it out.
So I'm not gonna lie.
Out of respect, I wasn't watching it.
I don't. It was terrible. I mean, I'm god awful at it, but at the same time, I was also kind of hilariously amused that so with two people on the same screen, sometimes it'll fuck the other one over by giving points from one person to the other. Well, apparently that happened a lot because I'm just a bigger person in general. And I kept stealing a ton of Julie's points, and she quite literally rage quit the thing like after a couple hours.
The points just gravitate to you.
Oh yeah, literally.
Because you're bigger.
Yeah. And I was like, I was not dancing at all good. I was like, oh, please turn it off. Just fucking, I don't even want to see that shit. Because it does, like, on the PS4, it does a replay after it. And it's just like, so you can see how you did or how it looks. And I was just like, oh, God, shut it off. But,
I don't think there's any game I want to watch a play-by-play of how I did.
Right?
It's always bad.
Well, especially if it's you in person. Like, not just, not just your gameplay. It's fucking you. Like, I'm sitting there in fucking shorts and a t-shirt, fucking dancing to Just Dance. my first time ever really like actually playing it for more than like a song or two and being like disgusted and want to get off. But
how long was the VOD?
Oh, it's like a 3-hour VOD. Like we played it for like 3 hours.
So she made it a while.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no. I mean, no joke. I probably danced like 75% of that, and she did probably about 60% of it, because there's quite a while where she kept like leaving me to do it, and then there's a couple times where I left her to do it, and that was kind of where it balanced out a little bit. But yeah,
you can't just dance for 3 hours. Like, that's insane.
No. I mean, we had to obviously take breaks, but yeah, it was pretty wild. But yeah, let's get into this week's topic. Kitty, I'll let you talk about the first one, because that's your baby there.
Oh yeah, Slay the Spire officially went, after seeing all the support of mods that were independent, went to the Steam Workshop and basically said, we're opening it up. Download these two if you want mods. And they now have basically when you start the game, it's, do you want to play with mods or without? It's all one click and things don't break. Well, I download every single mod at the same time, and that will break the game, but that's about the only thing to do it. But yeah, so it basically turned the game I put 500 hours into and thought was already 2019's game of the year, because it's going to release this year, to a game that's going to basically, endless amount of support, basically.
Yeah.
So, I'm hyped. I've been playing a ton of it.
That's nice. That's awesome, though. I mean, it's good to see, like, good games that actually get traction for, like, mod support and other things, too, especially after there's still, like, quite a few falling. I think there's still, like, 20-some-odd people or 1,000 people playing it. Last I checked on Steam DB.
Yeah, I haven't checked recently, but, I mean, it's not a dead game at all. It hasn't even technically fully released, but it's basically there.
Yeah.
But no, it is good to see more people allow mods. That's something that I look for in bigger games that's been crushed. So
I got gifted that because it was on my Steam wish list, and I still haven't gotten a chance to play it. I have to at some point, but I've got like such a terribly long backlog right now that it's just horrible.
Yeah, if you have a laptop that can play it, just wait until your next plane ride. That's the best place to start it.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely have to try that out. DC, I might let you take this next one if you're looking at it.
Which one?
The CS:GO one.
Am I looking on the wrong notes?
Yes, there was another one. I posted another one. I was wondering why there's nobody else in there. Yeah, there's a second one.
No, and there's the Slay the Spire stuff is on the one I was looking at, so I'm like, these have to be right.
I made some uneditable ones for when I want to talk about things.
Apparently, yeah, he was just like, fuck it, man. It's good. Do this thing. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Second one here. About the.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not surprised. You know.
I thought it was kind of. I actually giggled to myself when I saw this. I was like, I'm not really surprised, but at the same time,
no,
just
like nobody should be shocked about this. Like the amount of bans, like free to play was a disaster of hacking. It was just like they just opened the floodgates to hacking, because now there's nothing, and you can pay for Prime now too. So like. This is just such a terrible decision on their behalf.
Yeah, so what ended up happening is Valve basically has given out nearly 6 months worth of bans in just, I think it was like the first 4 weeks? 3 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks of free-to-play, and it's basically, over 600,000 accounts have already received back bans just in December alone.
Dude, like, if you follow any of the, like, the CSGO YouTubers and stuff, all it's been, like, anybody that does Overwatch videos, it's just, like, every title is, like, why did Valve do this? And it's just Overwatch after Overwatch of rage hacking. Just not, like, it's not even hard to catch these guys.
Jesus. Yeah. And is it happening in Prime now, too?
Yeah, less. At the very start, it was happening, like, a lot. Because I think what happened was, if you had the game before they made it free to play and you weren't Prime, you were like a veteran, so you were given Prime. So all those hacking accounts that were hacking before became Prime accounts. So for a little bit there was a lot of hacking, and then it kind of died down. But the non-Prime is a disaster. Like I dipped my foot in there the other day, and it was a nightmare. I'm never going back.
That bad, huh? I mean, at least now I don't have to earn Prime, right? I mean, that was the thing that
you have Prime now. Yeah. Like everybody, as long as you had it before they were free to play, you're Prime.
Oh man, yeah, that was just like, I don't understand why they. I mean, I kind of do understand why they went free to play because they wanted to do the whole battle royale thing. But they could have released that as a standalone mod or a standalone game too separately if they just wanted to deal with that out, you know. But to make
I think they would have made decent money if they like had a free battle royale and then they're like, and you pay to play the actual game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like there's ads in the battle royale for CS:GO.
Right.
Want to get good?
Get good.
You want to get better this battle royale? Get this game.
Then you think, on the other hand, they might have been, you know, accused of what is it called, being like greedy and shit by trying to charge people for something else. But I mean, it's the same thing they've always been doing.
Products bullshit.
I mean, they wouldn't even let you gift it.
It's not even like CS:GO was expensive before.
It's
$15, and it would go on sale for like $5 to $4. Like I've seen it as low as like $3 or $4.
Yeah.
So it's not even like you have this massive paywall that was deterring people. You know what I mean?
Not like Islands of Nine where it killed itself because
yeah, like $30 or what was it, $40?
Yeah, $30
Canadian?
$30. It was stupid. Or 30 US. It was like 40 Canadian.
Yeah. And like, man, the game should have been free.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That game should have been free, and they should have just kept with microtransactions in the game for cosmetics, and they would have been fine, or at least better off than they were.
Was it Bad Blood died the same way? I think.
Is Bad Blood dead now? Like,
I think it's kind. I'll look up the Steam charts and get back to you. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested on that one because I mean, no, that was kind of a.
I mean, I told you.
Oh God, yeah, it's like 30 people, 24-hour peak. It's way worse than I thought. 450
players 7.
Yeah, 452 all-time peak. They don't even have enough to fill a game. The game is what, 10 or 12, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 10, and they can't fill that. That's pretty damn.
And that sucks because the timeout on it just makes it stay there. Oh my God, that game's so worth nothing now. I'm so glad we got that for free.
Yeah, I got it, and the game crashed, and I refunded it. I was just like, okay.
You're like, and that's enough for me now.
The game crashed in the first 10 minutes. I'm pretty good.
Yeah. No, dude. Yeah. I don't know. I liked it, but it wasn't a long-term thing for me at all. It's a good concept. It was a really good concept, but it really needed to be free to play or included with the main Dying Light game.
Yeah.
Instead of them trying to shell out, forcing people to shell out extra money for it, basically. That was just stupid. Like, really, really stupid. So some of our next stuff is actually kind of interesting because this has come up a lot. So everybody remembers Diablo Immortal, right?
You guys all have phones, right?
Yeah, we all have phones, right?
Yeah.
So the Aliens decided to release their next game they've been teasing for months. And guess what? It turned out to be a fucking mobile game. A goddamn mobile game again. And what happened? Exactly what everybody expects. What the hell are you all doing? Like,
remember when I heard about this earlier this week? I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding.
That's what I said. I was like, you guys, didn't you not just see what happened with Blizzard? Everybody universally loves Blizzard. What the fuck do you think would happen if you released a mobile game on a franchise everybody's been waiting for a sequel for to Alien Isolation because it's like been the best Aliens games that's ever been released so far? And so part of this was kind of funny.
I would say what I liked about it too is I can't actually tell what the game is.
No, nobody
based
can.
On what they said, they're like, you're hiding from xenomorphs. I'm like, is it like a shooter or are you playing like a survival game or what's going on?
Yeah, it's like
an FTL clone. I have no idea.
So
I thought it was like something where you would tell people where to go.
Yeah, it looks kind of like an RTS. Like, it's just, yeah. And it's like Blackout 6 to Ripley Jr. and her crew on Weyland-Yutani Space Station where, shocker, there's xenomorphs hanging around. Players will make perilous choices, quote unquote. According to the official website, while guiding survivors through tasks only through the station's emergency systems. It's basically, yeah, just like guiding players to try to get the fuck out, basically.
There's also no more bullshit like way to do a storyline than to have Ripley's daughter be the main character. Like if you like the Aliens movies, that's just like a bullshit movie.
Well, I think it was.
Yeah, you know,
I don't even think it was. Was it the daughter or the granddaughter? I can't remember.
Yeah,
it was the daughter.
Amanda Ripley, Ellen Ripley's daughter.
Oh,
from the films Alien and Aliens.
Oh, Jesus.
Just like cool. Just have someone else.
So in response to that, the very next day, they decided the Aliens anthology, or the actual official Alien Twitter, said, "Don't worry, guys. There's an official game still coming." After all the backlash, they didn't say what. They didn't say what the details were. They just basically said nothing. And yeah, so it's still, as apparently Blackout's not connected to Alien Isolation in any way, which doesn't make any sense because it's using the same character, which I don't understand. And Isolation was the first interaction she had with the Xenomorph, so...
Going deep into the Aliens lore real quick.
Right? I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, it's not even deep. It's like you find out literally in the first, 30 minutes of the game that she didn't know what the fuck happened to her mom. She didn't know how anything happened on the Nostromo. And that's what she's, like, trying to find answers for, basically. And, yeah, so it's apparently might be an MMO from what the little bit of job listings I guess people have been able to dig up. Some MMO type shooter.
Kind of tight.
That would be cool.
I will say though, thinking about the mobile games, the only time I've ever seen a mobile game come out and people were hyped about it was the Fallout Shelter when they announced the new Fallout game. And they're like, and by the way, we also made a Fallout mobile game, so you guys have something to do for a month. And then people are like, sick.
And
I think that's the trick
and
to releasing a mobile game. You can't have it be the main thing you're releasing. Yeah. It's like a side thing. Like, here's the main thing, by the way, mobile.
Yeah, like that's the bonus. That's the extra that you get on top of it. Not, hey guys.
It's hard to be a big AAA company and be like, what's our flagship this year? An iOS.
Yeah, like fucking Blizzard doing that with Diablo, and everybody's like, Diablo 4? Diablo 4? Guys, what about Diablo 4? And then,
like, even people were soured on what was it, Skyrim Elders or something.
Oh,
like
the
that?
Infinity Blade or Infinity or Blades or whatever the fuck it was.
I just mix them all up now. People were like, this game looks like lame. Why don't you just work on Skyrim 6 with all your people? And I'm like, I kind of agree with that one.
Yeah, 100%. Especially at Bethesda now. Like, they can't fuck up. If they fuck up the next Elder Scrolls game after 76, riots are going to be had. That's for sure.
I heard a rumor that they might be fucking it up because of the Fallout 76 disaster. They're rushing to get Elder Scrolls 6 out.
Oh, man. I mean,
apparently they're saying it's going to come out this year now.
What? Yeah, this was not. It wasn't even a 2019 game. They were saying it was like 2020 or 2021.
Yeah, so like I can't remember where I read the article. I should have copied it.
Yeah, I mean that might just be rumor mill though. Who knows?
Could be.
Yeah, I mean you never know on that one.
I'll talk about what I think has happened to all that shit later once we get to a different subject. Because it relates into some other stuff, but it's gonna make me sad no matter what.
Oh yeah, Paul, what do you think about this next topic here, buddy?
The next topic, I was gonna say about the current topic. I'm just gonna go back to this really quick and talk about I think they're not making it for the North American market. They're making it for the Asian market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like that's what all mobile games are mostly. They're not doing it really for North America.
Yeah, I know like PUBG Mobile has like 100 million players in India or something crazy like that. It is just obscene. But
so anyways, the next one, Resident Evil 2, the demo's out. I was never a big Resident Evil fan, so maybe I'll see what's up. I just never.
I wasn't that big into them either. Like there was a couple of them I really did like, but I never really loved the series, you know.
I mean, personally, I love the RE series myself, but I was also an even bigger fan of like the paranormal stuff, like with Silent Hill and Parasite Eve and some of those other like really cool horror, survival horror games back in the day. And yeah, like I remember, especially RE2 was actually one of my favorite games. Like RE1 was okay. RE2 Nemesis, which I don't know if they're going to play off the Nemesis thing or not, because we didn't get to see it, I don't think, in the trailer for the game itself, or at least not that I've seen so far. But no, I'm super excited about the RE2 demo that's coming out. So it's weird because like the way they do the demos has always been like it's connected to the main game that they're about to release, but it also gets in a little bit other stuff. So you really don't get the full experience unless you play that demo too, which is why they do it like a couple weeks to a month ahead of time.
Did you play the last demo, the VR one?
No. No.
So I think it might have only came out for PS4 for VR. What you do is you sit in a chair in it, and you have the headset. It's called Kitchen, by the way.
Oh,
so
yeah, I heard
about
this.
Evil demo, and they're like, okay, and then faces start popping up at you, and then someone runs out of a room and stabs you in the leg. And I took off my headset, and I'm like, I'm not playing that game. I cannot play Resident Evil.
Nightmare.
Yeah, dude, it's literally just like, hey, here's a quick nightmare for you. I think, Tommy, you noticed this yesterday. I'm jumpy when stuff scares me in a game and in movies and stuff. I'm not good at playing Resident Evil because I'm like losing my mind the whole time. So that shit was way too intense.
Oh, it's funny. Like
this looks a little closer.
My early days in streaming was nothing but like horror games. Like I did like one of the games that actually I really enjoyed and I had a ton of viewership for. It was my first bunch of playthroughs through Outlast, like the first Outlast and the DLC for it. And that was what people came in and saw me for. They're like, oh, how much is he gonna jump? And dude, there's a couple times like I damn near fell out of my chair, especially for this game called Home Sweet Home. It was like this like Chinese horror game. And it was just like, there was stuff a couple times where like all of a sudden I open a door and then I'd walk away and it'd close and I'm like, what is that? I go to open it again and then there's like blood there and I'm just like, there's a ghost pops up and I close the door again. I'm like, what the fuck? Like there's clips of me of just that shit. And so like the Resident Evil, like I loved the Resident Evil. I played through the first one. I went through the DLC. I did a bunch of different stuff and different streams for it. So I'm really excited for RE2. Especially how good it looks. It's just gorgeous looking game.
We also didn't even talk about the coolest thing about this demo is that you have 30 minutes to play the demo, and if you fail and die, and if you make it through alive, you get like a exclusive cutscene or whatever that tells you something.
Yeah.
So
no shit.
I don't know if you. I was hoping. I'm not sure if this is true. But it says the demo is one and done, which I'm not 100% sure if that means you only get one try or not. But I think that would be a really cool way to do it.
Yeah.
Which means like if I'm gonna try it this weekend. I'm gonna try to do it for stream on Sunday, I think. But yeah, basically I'm gonna have to download it on everything. So I have like my PS4 and Xbox One and my PC. I'll download it on PC first. But if I fuck up on there, I've got 2 other chances to try to do it. Yeah, I read that too, so I was like, oh man, I wonder if that's really the case there. I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool if it is. And if it's anything like RE2, the original, no way do I beat it. So
yeah.
That,
so, I mean,
that opening 10-minute was impossible.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I loved RE7 too. RE7 was so good. It was actually
was
like
that the one. Which one was that again?
Like the Hillbillies one. Basically,
yeah, okay,
like Southern
Louisiana
hillbilly style one.
Yeah.
RE6 was the kind of bad one, then RE7 was the good one again.
Yeah,
and I don't think I played 5.
Like 1 through 3 were like
pretty good too.
Yeah, 1 through 3 was really good. 4 was 5 was good.
4, I think. Did you play 4 on GameCube?
No,
because like 4 on GameCube was probably top 3 games for the GameCube.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah,
it
4.
Like amazing.
Well. Yeah, 4 was okay because it was exclusive for the GameCube, and I didn't have a GameCube. At least for me, that's why I ended up
so that just made you...
But I actually got gifted it on Steam and played it again later, and then I agree, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, when it came out, it was so good. I just remember back then, people were still playing demos in the mall. Kids were like going insane, just taking turns playing it.
Oh man.
Because, yeah, that's how old that game is. Jesus. But anyway, that's all I have about Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Except the movies are excellent.
I do like. I mean, I do like the movie for as campy as some of them are. I do like them. I appreciate them for what they are. Like the first 2 followed the movie pretty good in their own way. I mean, some stuff obviously was still different, but it was still pretty solid. Like it was a fun experience.
I'm all about what is it? The movie Cube. So that first one was great.
Oh, dude, Cube was brutal.
Cube
was fucking brutal.
Oh, and then
None of that one where they're all in like a giant like Rubik's Cube of death.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. It was like this. It was a super campy like B movie.
Yeah, I think I saw both, and then the other one was like in subspace or like crazy.
Yeah.
Cube is a Canadian film, by the way.
Oh.
And then Hypercube is also, and then their third sequel, Cube Zero.
There's a third one?
Yeah, Cube Zero. It's a prequel about how the cube was developed.
That's amazing.
Dominic, thank you so much for the follow, and have a great night, buddy.
Remember the guy in Cube who knew math really good but couldn't talk?
Yeah.
The
Actually,
autistic guy.
He wasn't autistic. They like electrified his mind, and he was actually a genius that built the cube. Then they stuck him back in there.
Yeah, because they were like because he was trying to shut it down or do something.
Cube lore. Yeah. I don't know. That's some wild stuff. Those are good movies.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say they're good.
I mean, they're all right. They're all right movies. I mean, it was movies I would actually tell people to watch because they're actually worth watching at least once. Not more than once.
Every person I've tried to get to watch Cube, like back when I had first seen it, they all watched it and they were all like, "That was dumb." Eventually, I just stopped trying to show it to people.
I have friends that'll still text me, "I want to go back to the blue room," and I'm like, "Hell yeah, dude!"
Oh
Same.
man. Going on to our next topic, we got the Epic Store is really trying to make some moves. I mean, we've talked about the Epic Store, I think, a few weeks back, or actually before the holidays, and how they're kind of making like big moves and trying to get people to come in and stuff like that. And it's funny because we saw the free games coming out for that, which actually I didn't know were a thing until last night, where I looked at the Epic Store again, and they're actually planning on multiple free game releases like every couple weeks. And so one of the cool things that's, I guess, is coming too, or the big news, some of the big news is, actually, just as a couple hours ago, is they're going to be allowing refunds on most items regardless, but apparently there might be some limitations that, Kitty, you saw, I guess?
Yeah, it basically looks like they took the Steam refund, like, policy and just were like, this is also our policy. The one thing that I did not like that when I was reading through it is as if, so Steam has, if you play something for less than 2 hours, you fund it. Epic said the same thing, but that also includes like playing betas and such, which is no good. If I play 2 hours of like an alpha or beta and then I don't want to get the game I pre-ordered, you have to let me refund it. That seemed like a little sketchy, but I assume they might have just had some bad wording, but we'll see. Yeah, that's the only thing I'd look out for.
The only other thing that it looks like they say is you'd also, if you happen to buy a game that has add-on or in-app downloadable content, you could also, that was also purchased through Epic Games, you could actually get refunded on that too, as long as it has not been consumed, modified, or transferred. But I guess some of it we'll have to see. 14, yeah, so it's still the 14 days or 2 hours rule apply. So it is quite literally almost the same thing, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. I mean, that's good because at least they're offering it, but at the same time, it's like you guys don't need to be a copy paste of something else.
Yeah.
Well, that's not something that you need to innovate in. Refund policy, it's very mundane.
Well, interestingly enough, Steam is looking to update their policy right now, according to them, because they think the 14-day limit is dumb. So
like
they're
it's too
just
long?
going to do it based on. No, like they were going to get rid of that and just do it based on game time played.
Oh.
So like, it
Yeah,
could
'cause
be,
if you
so you could have a game that you bought like 2 years ago and be like, hey, you haven't played it, and just refund.
I mean, I assume there's a max limit, but we'll see. I just know that they mentioned that that's something they were thinking about taking out, which I wouldn't be upset by, because there's games that I just didn't refund because I didn't feel like it. But
yeah, I mean, there's
like, man, I put
to be honest, if they did that though, there's a lot of games I would refund. Like if they totally enabled that, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna get rid of half this backlog that I'm never gonna play. Yeah.
But I'm sure there would be some kind of limitation on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something. The big news, though, really is the news of the Division 2 not at all coming to Steam. Instead, they're trading out Steam as their third-party store, their one third-party store, and moving it over to the Epic Store, which is actually kind of interesting because it doesn't include Origin in this, because Division 1 is actually on Origin and on Origin Access, which is kind of weird. So I'm like, they didn't mention Origin or some of the other stores they sell on now, so it's like, okay, so they're specifically cutting out Steam to work with Epic instead. But now I'm going to wonder what's going to happen when it turns into another issue like Subnautica, where all these players are actually getting into the game. They don't have, they don't know what's working, what's happening, and then what are they going to do? They're going to turn to the Steam store or forums or something like that just to kind of make up for this. Like, what are we going to get in return, basically?
Well, Ubisoft does have its own launcher, which is actually, I think, probably going to get a lot more activity now that they're not doing it on Steam.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird.
I mean,
I'd rather use a launcher than another Steam program. Like, I already hate that I have Origin.
Yeah, like, I mean, for Ubisoft games, I always go through Uplay anyway. like just by principle. And then even if I buy stuff from like say Green Man Gaming or something like that for an Ubisoft game, they automatically give you Uplay codes instead of Steam codes. So I mean, like for me that works out fine. Like I'm just gonna stick with Uplay to begin with because that's their fucking platform and their game that they're doing. I imagine it would be a little bit better, and plus their support's actually not bad. So I can't.
Doesn't the Uplay friends list now communicate you can link your Steam friends list?
Yeah. So yeah, you could do through both now. So that
so that like kind of super helps, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes me a little happier because I was pretty about the Division, and I think they're gonna do too. I'm like, it's gonna suck having to like, hey, all my friends send me a quick message on Uplay.
But I'm not gonna lie though, like there's enough games that, especially like in this next couple months, especially these looter shooters that are coming out. Like we're gonna have Anthem that's coming out in less than 4 weeks or 3 weeks. Then we're gonna have the Division 2 come out immediately after that. What was the other one? There's another one that's coming out, or maybe I'm just thinking of Division and Anthem. But I mean,
no, there is something else.
I'm trying to remember what it is. I know exactly what you're talking about. We talked about it.
It has something to do with Anthem. People were gonna play it until Anthem came out or something.
Yeah, like well, I mean, there's a ton of games releasing the same time as Anthem too, which is that that random February 15th fucking drop date for everything for whatever reason. Everybody's like, hey guys, let's fucking dogpile on this date. This is gonna be a great idea. That was another thing I absolutely hated. Like, I mean, so the after holiday season this year is almost as bad as the holiday season was, with all these like stacked games. And that was actually something I don't think we even got to talk about last week because we were gone. Was how much a lot of these games have gone on discount so fast compared to their predecessors, especially like the sequel titles, simply because there's too much variation. I mean, I've said this enough on my little soapbox about talking about the different amount of games that have come out, but you could see like the cause and effect of all this too. It's really hit the market pretty bad. Like you're seeing games that are not even a month old or even 6 weeks old go on sale for like 40, 50, 60% off already, and it's kind of unheard of, especially in some of these games.
Yeah, it's like Hitman 2 did not get the traction I expected it to, and that is a very good game.
I mean that game is already a pretty niche game to begin with in terms of like the player base. Like it's really for people who have patience, and I mean, let's be real, there's a lot of the gamer base now that doesn't have fucking patience for the life of them.
Oh yeah. I mean, half the time I play, I'm just throwing wrenches and running through as fast as possible for fun. But yeah, here's the stuff that comes up on February 15th. Metro Exodus, Jump Force, Far Cry New Dawn, Dead or Alive 6, and Crackdown 3.
Oh, Far Cry New Dawn, I think, was the one we were thinking of, maybe.
Yeah, that's gotta be.
I know that.
Crackdown 3 was like supposed to be a launch title for the Xbox One, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's been delayed 5 times.
Yeah.
Because I guess
like
the main
the
character.
original Xbox.
Yeah, the Xbox One.
Yeah. No,
like,
no, the Xbox One.
Yeah, Xbox One.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Xbox One, it was supposed to be a launch title for that. They delayed it. They delayed it. And I think the last 2 delays were because they switched out the original character, which was not Terry Crews, which it is now. And it was just the other guy that had done Crackdown 1 and 2, and they swapped it out for Terry Crews. So I mean, I'm not complaining it by any means. So I love Terry Crews. He's an awesome guy. I've got to meet him twice in person, and he's such a cool guy. But at the same time, I'm like, damn guys, that's a long time to release this game. Is this engine still gonna work?
That said, those games are kind of fun, so whatever.
Right. Paul, I'll let you take this one. It's a good.
Oh yeah, this
one.
is the one that I'm really excited about. So, the former lead for Hearthstone, they split off. I don't remember how long ago, but they started their own little company. So it was this like lead guy brought a couple of the other Hearthstone team members with him, and they started off this indie company. And now we know that they are currently working on a Marvel game. We don't know what it is. That's all we know is that somebody threw 30 million at them and said, make a game in the MCU, and I'm really very excited for it.
Yeah.
Because coming from the guys from Hearthstone, it could be like a Marvel CCG, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely room for that. And then if it's not that, I've been imagining that a Marvel MOBA would actually be pretty cool.
But I mean, wouldn't that be Ultimate Alliance?
Characters.
Wouldn't that be Ultimate Alliance if it was a MOBA?
Ultimate Alliance isn't a MOBA. That's like a team cooperative action game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm actually really excited for Marvel Ultimate Alliance also. Like, but the only thing I'm not excited for is the fact that it's only on the Switch. Like, I'm just like, come on, guys, you could have released it on PC this time, and not been a bad fucking port.
It would have been terrible.
I mean, I'm not complaining because I have a Switch and I'm really excited about playing it too. Because that'll be a game I'll definitely own on the Switch. But yeah, I would definitely love to see that also on the other one.
I'm so happy that I have controllers for the Switch from Super Smash. Like, I went all in on it, and now I'm like, oh man, this is great. I'm gonna have controllers for playing with friends with Ultimate Alliance. Oh, I loved that game when it first came out.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. 1 and 2, I played the bejesus out of both of those games. Like, I put in a lot of hours in those. And the same thing with Captain Tutu. Actually, he was also talking about the same thing. Like, when he got a hold of the first and second one, he played it for like there was like 200+ hours in those games. I mean, you could also do that too. You played through different characters and got their stuff unlocked and all that stuff. Like it made you feel accomplished for actually playing through those.
And then they also had the New Game Plus where everything was incredibly difficult, and you had to do it with a maxed out character.
Yeah,
it was just endless.
Yeah,
I love that game so much.
I will point out the funding for that game is from NetEase, who's basically China's big gaming company. They're the ones who operate Overwatch in China. They do Minecraft. They do EVE Online, actually, in China.
Yep.
Like World of Warcraft. They're just in charge of Chinese games almost.
Which is really the budget seems really small though for such a big title, basically, like especially for a Marvel franchise item.
Well, that's why I'm thinking it's probably a CCG, because the actual mechanics of the game are not super complicated. You don't need a bunch of that and to develop it. It's all testing, making sure things fit, and then writing.
Yeah, that's true too.
Stuff.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I kind of feel like Marvel probably has hey, here's how to do graphics for Marvel people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
got all the characters.
Yeah, here's all the character model stuff you'll ever need. Like, just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just send Rocket Raccoon over, just scan them real quick.
Basically.
Yeah.
Our next topic though is actually kind of one I've been a little bit in an uproar this week, just because it's just kind of like part of it has made me really happy about some of the other stuff, but there's one thing in particular. I know Kitty agrees with me on this one. Is Elgato made a shit ton of announcements this week. Like, in fact, it was 4 announcements in one day. I thought it was 5, but it really was 2 of them were the same thing, essentially. So Elgato, just, if you guys don't know, makes capture cards. They make the stream decks. They make the green screens, which I actually have one behind me. And a bunch of other stuff. I have 2 stream decks in front of me. Like, they make really good stuff that are great for streamers. So they announced a whole list of new stuff, which actually aren't entirely streamer related, which is actually kind of cool too. One of the first products they did was the Thunderbolt 3 Pro dock for Mac users. So it actually brings you a quality dock that's not going to suck and is not shitty, which it's funny because I didn't know this was actually a real big need until recently, when my work has actually gone through 4 different brands of docks because they can't keep them working. Basically, they either break down, some certain ports don't work. Stuff like that. The next bunch of stuff actually ties into gaming and streaming, which is the Stream Deck SDK. So that was actually a big deal. So now developers can actually integrate directly with the Stream Deck and actually do a whole bunch of cool stuff, which is actually a really good thing, because that's actually something they've been talking about doing from pretty much the get-go when they announced Stream Deck. And I think it's 1.5 years later now, almost 2 years later since they've done that. One of the other things they announced with that was the integration with their starting partners, which actually are Stream Elements, which we actually use here on FatBee TV, VoiceMod, New Blue FX, vMix HD, which I don't know who that is, and Soundflow.org. A lot of these, some of these are actually, like the integrations they've done for these were actually like soundboard like type of stuff and things like that. So I was actually pretty excited for that. I'll put the link here in chat. But yeah, I thought those were really cool. The next big thing was actually the Elgato Screen Link, which is actually a really cool little tool. Like, you could actually tie in your gameplay with your tablet, essentially. And it's all Apple devices to start with, which makes the most sense because Apple stuff is really easy to integrate with. But you could play like your mobile games and everything, and you could actually transfer them straight to the Elgato software or your OBS or XSplit, so on and so forth. You can also augment some of that content, like you could do AR related stuff or some of the other things, or you could even treat some of your iOS devices like a Stream Deck and like an additional helping tool. Also the same thing with like how this can be used is with like Pokemon Go, for example. You could go and link your phone wirelessly to your home platform and be able to do some like IRL streaming and keep all your stuff on your computer still running and, you know, be able to go out and do all the fun stuff, right? So it makes some of these things a little bit easier. Now, the thing that bothered me the most was the last and also quite literally the biggest announcement that streamers were also raving about until, you know, the most important thing of the whole thing decided to come. How much is it? Ketty, I'll let you start with this one because I know you're a little eager on this one too.
They made the Elgato Keylight Professional Studio LED panel with 2500 lumens, color adjustable, app enabled PC and Mac. That's what it was called. It is a light that plugs into Stream Deck, and you can change how bright it is and colors. And it costs $200.
Yeah. Out of everything, I mean, it does. The only thing I'll give it at the same time is it already comes with a desk mount, which you don't have to go out and buy separately, which is also a good thing. It's got a lot of adjustability, but I still don't understand the price tag for $200 fucking dollars.
It's a lamp.
It's an adjustable lamp that you can do, and it's funny because like as soon as people were saying this,
it's like a $200 hue light, like a Philips makes a bulb that
like,
you can control and do all that shit for like 40.
Yeah, that was where I was getting. I was like, oh my god, like smart lights do the same shit. Now, granted, they're not 2,500 lumens. The biggest you could get in terms of a smart light is 1,200, which is with the Lithix lights. I have the Hue lights, which only go to 800 or 900. But at the same time, they do the exact same thing in terms of the warmth, the color, the brightness, all that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, they don't get as bright. But I don't, like right now, I'm not even using them at 100%. Yeah, I'm like, my lights right now are only at 60%. Like, I don't even have them all the way up because I don't need them that bright. Mostly because I like these things too.
Watch what happens.
You do not need a 2,500 lumen light.
It's like, let there be light. But
oh my goodness,
no,
it's almost blue.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it gets
right, man.
I mean, it's the same thing with like even the nano leaves behind me. Like here, I'll even do the Hue lights too. But dude, like you could do a lot more. So not only that, so my biggest thing about this is that if streamers really want something cool that they can do, why the fuck are they going to spend $400 on these two lights? Because you're never going to need just one. One of them is too small to cover enough. Otherwise, you're going to have green screen bleed, which is the biggest problem in terms of people getting like these ring lights and other stuff like that, which I fucking hate, by the way. Like, it's one of my biggest pet peeves about streaming. And everybody's like, oh, should I get a ring light? I'm like, are you a 16-year-old girl trying to stream? No. Like, for one, you're always going to get that one, and you're going to try to get a green screen, and it's going to suck. If you don't get a green screen, you know, more power to you. I'm not going to judge you on that. But, like, see, like, these, no, that's at 100% for me. But I like, generally, like, if I'm playing games at night or something, I'm, like, around here, so like, people can see the nano leaf and stuff. But,
why are yours, like, way less bright than mine? They're the same lights.
The Hue lights?
Yeah.
They're behind
being abducted by aliens.
You're in the boxes.
Like
I'm in the lamps. I'm in the actual like umbrella lamps or whatever. They're darker by default.
In chat, I posted a 1600 lumen light bulb that does all the colors and is also a Bluetooth speaker, and it is $18. So you can just buy that today. I used to have one in my bedroom because I was a ridiculous person.
Well, like the nano leaves, these are down to like 18% because they're too bright for in here. Like if I go and turn these things up, they're like blinding. Like you can't even tell the color they are now. They're blue. They're actually like
they're kind of teal.
They're blue, yeah, like they're blue, almost teal, but they get so bright. That's so crazy. Like I sit there and just be like this. So like that's actually turned down. I have some of these presets turned down, but like here's some seizure-inducing stuff. You know, it's
like a rave, man.
Right?
It just.
What's the thing that I like about like the Hue lights and stuff is they work with Razer Synapse, so you can like link them up with the games and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and they interact.
And that's another cool thing. And even some of the other ones like Hue, Nanoleaf, now Lithix also working with Lumia Twitch. I don't know if you guys know what they are, but they tie into your smart hubs, whatever you want to do. And right now, its current integration only works with Hue, but their update that's coming out, I think sometime at the end of this month, is actually going to be linked up with the Nano Leaves, which are behind me, and also Lithix lights, which I also love because they're way brighter than the Hue lights. And they have actually a little bit more color permutations. But I'm like, they have the wide range of everything too. So I'm like, I could buy a hub and 4 lights and still be less than $200 for that. Or maybe 250 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, why would you go and spend $400 on these 2 tiny little lights? Granted, they're bright as fuck with desk mounts and everything, and they have Stream Deck integration.
I mean, it's not worth it. Like, it's not.
Yeah. And their biggest boasting thing is the fact that, oh my god, it ties up with the Stream Deck. I'm like, so do the smart lights.
Yeah, it's already a feature.
Yeah, it's already a feature. Like
for everything else.
Like, you guys are a little late to this game.
Almost like when Apple was advertising, like, we got face recognition now. It's like Android's had that forever.
Right? Yeah. It's just, dude.
I think that the target here is like professional, the big group team sort of things where you have like a bunch of people on a desk and you actually do need to light a lot of people or something.
Yeah, but they're gonna just get professional lights.
Yeah, I mean, and even then, professional lights are cheaper than that.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It seems like who they're going for with this are people who need to buy Stream branded objects for things, not understanding that there's something else that they could use.
Maybe the lights come with like ViewBot installed.
Dude, I was saying,
the more lights you have, the more viewers you get.
So this is the first time we're actually seeing some changes after Elgato has gotten purchased by Corsair. And I think this is actually the first time they're kind of going the Apple route of being like, our shit's too good, guys. Like, fuck you, we're going to charge this much for our things because we think it's better than everything else. And I'm just like, come on, guys. Like, I love Elgato because their products are good. They are a tad bit expensive, but this goes under the line of, like, you're, like, straight out, like, gouging people for this. Like, if these were, like, 2 for $200 or $100 a piece, I can maybe see it. Like, I could justify that to some degree. But not $200 a light. Yeah, hell yeah, they're expensive. Yeah, fuck, dude. They're so they're so stupid expensive. I wouldn't... Even if you were a millionaire, I still wouldn't recommend those. Like...
What if you just had too much money?
I mean, if you had too much money...
Like, if you were like a trillionaire and you had purchased all kinds of crazy stuff and then this thing was the last...
I mean, maybe, sure. If I was like building a studio up or something, sure, maybe.
You know, I'm looking at the very close pictures on Amazon using the little magnifying glass. It's not even like well built.
No.
It's thin and like the cords are small and I don't know, man. It's like as well built as my mic stand maybe, and this thing sucks.
Yeah, and they're like it's a premium price for something that should be premium. I would expect at this point, and it's definitely not. So yeah, I don't even know how I feel about this whole thing.
But yeah, it's basically using my mic stand, which was $15. So that can't be the charge. The light bulb costs $15, so that can't be the charge. Like it's just let's charge $200 because we suck. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
One of the extra things on the streaming topic, actually, I kind of put this as an optional thing, but I actually kind of do want to cover it. So as part of CES also that's going on, has been going on this week, NVIDIA is deciding to help streamers out with a new update that's coming for the graphics card here sometime, I think this week or next week, or this coming week or the following week. That's going to be a huge improvement to RTX cards mainly, but it's also going to support the 9 and 10 series cards. That's going to bring up to like a 68% reduction in GPU use when you're streaming with OBS, which is actually going to be like a really huge thing, I think, because there's a majority of people that are already using OBS. So like the offshoots are going to be a little bit more difficult, like Streamlabs OBS and OBS Live, which is Streamlabs version. Those are the two that are going to come a little bit later, but the main stock OBS that we have now is also going to get this improvement at the same time that these new graphics drivers drop. And in the graphic they give us for just new OBS, which is coming here soon, it's going to be a 66% improvement on CPU or GPU use, which is going to be really cool. So that's going to be a huge thing. I am super excited about it because I use OBS mainly. I love XSplit. Like I use XSplit for this show because it's a lot easier in terms of the tools and capturing everything. XSplit used to be my favorite platform, but they still have a lot of issues with other encoder things. But at the same time, like now I'm like, oh my god, OBS is getting cool things. But yeah, so that's a cool thing. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out. Of course, there was other news of NVIDIA's boss making fun of the new AMD graphics card that came out, and the AMD CEO shot back. Is like, I don't think he's seen it yet. Shh, just let him believe it, guys. He's good. He's good. So that was kind of a funny little tidbit of news for this week. But on to our top story, which I'm actually kind of excited about this one.
Actually, hold on one sec. Did you guys read the Soldier Boy thing?
No.
Oh yes.
Oh wait, yes. The stupid game console. His game console got shut down. Yeah.
Soldier Boy got threatened by Nintendo, and he had to shut down his Soldier Boy.
Yeah, because he was like blatantly advertising that you could buy Smash Bros.
Oh god.
That was amazing.
It was just like a shitty looking console that had a bunch of emulators on.
And I was watching JonTron, and you could buy the same console, like exactly the same stickers and everything on Amazon or something for cheaper than if you bought it from Soldier. Like he literally just stole somebody else's product and started marketing it on like.
Oh, dude, it's so stupid, so freaking stupid.
So good.
That was hilarious.
So our big top story of tonight, which is actually something a lot of people have been talking about in the past couple of days, is Bungie has finally broken off the relationship with Activision, but they keep the Destiny franchise, which is the key portion of that whole thing. Apparently, there's been rumors for probably close to a year now, according to the writer that actually wrote up this Kotaku article, that they've been trying to break off from Activision for almost a little over a year now. I guess like something like 13, 14 months now, and it's finally happened. And I guess a lot of it was just coming down to the negotiations of what was going to happen with Destiny. Now we don't know what's going to happen in terms of Destiny being on PC because currently it's on Battle.net, but apparently it's already in the works to break that off, or in the early development of it getting broken off of Battle.net, which is going to be interesting to find out. A lot of people think it was mostly because Activision didn't expect the sales to be so bad, I guess, in terms of how Destiny 2 ended up selling, how the packs... Bad. Even though it sold...
They think Call of Duty sold bad, too.
It did. Well, I mean, okay, the last bunch of Call of Duties, like the last real big Call of Duty that they sold a ton for was... God, what was it called? The Advanced Warfare. Not the Black Ops, but Advanced Warfare. And that was on their big downslope. I mean, even Call of Duty now has been on its downslope. This one has actually been their best-selling Call of Duty for some time. But it's also going to do the same thing. Like, we talked a little bit about this last time, where it was, like, shit on a bunch because, like, okay, what are going to happen? You're going to have this Battle Royale game that we're going to want to play, and then you're going to come out with another Call of Duty that's not going to have this Battle Royale. Now we got to buy a new game to go to it. So I think they've already kind of screwed themselves. Yeah, Advanced Warfare was good and bad. It was good because it was different, and you had the whole wall running thing and all that stuff. But that brought on that whole generation of like too much of that shit.
Neon colored Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Did you see the Reddit thread where people are like waiting for Blizzard to now like break off from Activision so they can start making good games again?
Well, Blizzard's a different story though. Blizzard was bought by Activision, whereas Bungie was a partnership. So that was a big key difference.
That, and I think a few too many people are saying all of the problems with Destiny and Blizzard stuff are Activision. And I'm one of them. I think Activision is a shitty company, and I hate them a lot. But that doesn't mean that Destiny or Bungie made no wrong decisions. I think having to stick to a yearly schedule of releasing games is terrible.
Well, no, that was Activision's thing.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Activision was doing the yearly schedule, but it doesn't mean Bungie made 100% right decisions along the way.
Yeah, that's also very true. I mean, but we don't know how much of that was the influence, right? Like that's been the topic of debate for quite some time now. Is like how much influence are they really pushing on these companies that they're either working with or they own or something like that? Like, there's been so much talk of like the whole Activision dealing with Blizzard and all that kind of stuff. Like really digging into their company now, especially with them ousting the CFO or whatever 2 weeks ago, which ended up being a really interesting thing. And then they ousted their own CFO. which was even more interesting. I didn't know there was supposed to be two. I thought they kind of all compiled into one leadership structure, but I guess not. So
yeah,
I guess they're still independent to some degree. But I don't know. What do you guys think is going to be like the big like outcome of Bungie finally splitting off?
Well, one of the most interesting things I've read is that I can't remember the guy who runs Bungie, but when he left and he was going to make his own thing after Halo, he brought along a bunch of people who had signed up with him basically because they loved Halo, next big sci-fi shooter, and he really didn't want to do that at the time. So they ended up making Destiny, which is, a big sci-fi shooter, but isn't necessarily, exactly what everyone else was doing at the time, which is pretty cool. But I have a feeling that they're going to go away from that. Yeah. I think they're definitely going to continue making Destiny stuff because that's their money right now. But I'd expect a big new game idea out of them.
Yeah. I mean, I at the same time, I definitely don't hope for a Destiny 3. Like, I hope they just continue on with Destiny 2 and make it a long-running game. So, like, it's actually, like, its platform, its basis. Like, what they claimed Destiny 1 was going to be. Destiny 1 was supposed to be a 10-year game, and what it ended up being a 2.5-year game.
Yeah. Then, some people are worried NetEase, the same company that funded Ben Brode's Marvel game, apparently is funding Bungie with like $100 million now. And people are like, oh man, we left Activision just to get $100 million from another huge corporation. It's terrible. Without really understanding, NetEase funds anything coming to China, basically.
Yeah.
So if it's going to sell to anyone in China, it'll go well.
Yeah.
And I can't, off the top of my head, know Destiny's Chinese sales units, but I'm sure it did well. And that's probably why they're doing some of the funding.
Well, yeah, and to some degree too. I hope they continue doing good stuff with Destiny, because obviously Forsaken finally fixed a lot of the long-standing issues with Destiny 2. At the same time, I really kind of hope they go back to their roots somewhere and get a good shooter that out of everything. Like maybe even help back with. I mean, it's a long, far-fetched thing, but help back with Halo again. We all know how much 343 kind of fucked up Halo, in my opinion. Because I don't think Halo's ever been the same, and I don't think it ever will be the same as long as 343 is doing the development on it. It's just not the same game anymore.
Yeah, I think I again was talking to you last night about it. How I think the new Halo games are fine shooters, but they're not good Halo games.
No, they're not. I mean, and especially the stories were not the same. Like they're not even on the same caliber as any of the other ones.
Yeah, there's no Master Chief holding a bomb flying through space in the new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, light beings. I don't remember. I stopped playing them.
Oh yeah, I can remember. I don't even remember what they're called. They were so dumb.
Yeah.
They were just stupid dumb.
Yeah, I want to say Lightbringers, but I think that's.
I thought they were like Prometheans.
Oh, Prometheans. That's what it was.
Right.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Paul bringing in the hammer for that.
Oh yeah, I love Halo.
Yeah.
Like, the new ones are less good.
Oh, dude, like Halo was my jam, dude. Like, I was telling people about this story, and I did, now obviously we all know who Ninja is, but even back in the day, I didn't know who Ninja was. He was still a very relatively new streamer even back in the day. I competed against him. Going back to my paperwork that I had from MLG, I competed against Ninja like 14 years ago, in early Halo 2 days. I didn't even realize, like I said, I didn't even know who he was, and then I realized, like, I know that name from somewhere. Like, what is it from?
Apparently, he used to be a lot different back then.
Oh, dude. He was a rude, loudmouth motherfucker.
Totally different. Exactly what he complains about now is how he used to be.
Well, apparently it's starting to come back out.
I have a good video for you later. Yeah, there's some funny stuff along those lines.
Oh yeah. So I mean, like, it was really fun to compete back in MLG, especially in Halo 2 days. Like, Halo 2 was like hands down like one of my favorite games I've ever played, and I put so much time. I gotta say I probably have close to 1,000 hours into Halo 2 by itself, like especially in the multiplayer.
You know what the funny thing is if you look into they're making old school Bungie now, they're like, Bungie's always been mismanaged. Like, Halo 2 was a wreck when it came out and blah blah blah, and I'm like, how fucking wrong can you be about something?
Right? Like, dude, Halo 2 was the best-selling
like,
game ever on Xbox.
Yeah, it came out, and every person I know goes, holy shit, this is the only game we need to play. Like, and everyone just bought Halo 2. Yeah. And we all played fucking Halo 2.
So at the time, I was a game tester.
Games people bought consoles just for that game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, I mean, dude,
that's a good game.
Back when Halo 2 had released, so Xbox had come out with these travel cases specifically for fucking Halo. So you could take your game and do a LAN party at your friend's house and stuff like that, especially for Halo 1. It started really in Halo 1, but it really got more popular then. But it got to the point where I was working at Sony Computer Entertainment America, SEA, working on like MLB 2003 or something back in the day. And everybody in the department that I worked on, which we were in the online division, we all had travel portable Xboxes that we brought to work just to play Halo tournaments during our breaks. It was the best thing ever. And dude, like, if there was a way I could relive those days, that would be one of them for sure.
Yeah. Halo 2 was actually, like, showing my age, my like first video game that I actually played and like owned.
Oh, dude.
Because my parents just hated video games, so I didn't get to play them when I was very young. Backyard Baseball might have been actually the first one, but then Halo was the first console.
That's a game right there.
And like, yeah, Backyard Baseball. Oh man.
Oh yeah, dude.
Pete Wheeler, he's got some speed on him.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember a lot of that. It was great. I love those days.
Yeah.
But out of all the Bungie stuff, though, I really hope they can hold out on their own. Because I remember, so one of the things I didn't really remember until somebody actually brought it up in one of the articles I've read, like all out of all the multiple articles that have come out about this Bungie Activision split, was the fact that when Bungie was still by itself, after it broke off from Microsoft, they were kind of really bad, like, and poorly mismanaged at that time. And that's the reason why they partnered up with Activision to kind of take back that organization, you know, the PR, the community management, all that kind of stuff. And that's what they wanted them to do. So that's one of my concerns. Like, I'm kind of wondering how that's going to end up if they're on their own again. Like, what's going to happen? Are they going to become mismanaged? Are they going to fuck up the game even worse? And I kind of agree. Like, the Kotaku article, I think, did I link it, I think? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
The guy that wrote this actually is very, very invested in the story. And
he's been following them for so long.
Oh, forever. And if you actually go and dig through, like, legitimately dig through the discussion that he's going through here, he's replied to tons of comments. And a lot of them are very, very legitimate concerns. How a lot of the ones, especially he's coming to, especially the first couple that are right in the very, very beginning when he has the staff section. You could kind of read all the stuff he did, but very, very good, legitimate concerns from this stuff. So it's definitely worth looking at if you guys are really invested, especially in Destiny or Bungie, stuff like that. I mean, I've always wished the best for Bungie, but with Activision's influence with Destiny, I don't think they lived up to what they're meant to be, essentially.
I think the problem with the Bungie is that they are good at making games, and they don't have the management system around them. I'm hoping in the past, 10 years at Activision, they got the proper management to make sure they can deal with the business world around it.
Yeah.
Because that's really the big difference between the AAA developers and, like, the stuff they did was, you know, are you there to make games? Are you there to make money? And originally they were there to just make games. Yeah. And we'll see how that goes.
Aqua, these are the SteelSeries Pro wireless headsets, and it's actually got a modified band and everything for them. So it's actually like it's a upgrade kit basically you get for them.
Those are pretty slick looking.
They're comfortable. They're like my favorite headset, and it's wireless. Like, I can't complain.
And they're not giant like mine.
I know. When you first got yours, like I remember we were like making fun. It's like, oh look, ET found home.
Dude, these things are retarded huge. Like,
I mean, they look comfortable as hell though.
Yeah, when you look straight at the camera, it makes your head look real small because of how big they are.
Yeah.
No, like when he looks at the camera, he doesn't just like look at the camera and show us, like, you know, his head being small. He gets the Stewie head with that.
Yeah.
Family Guy
it is
Stewie
roughly like this.
Yeah, it's like the size of your head.
Like, if this was just a silhouette, you'd be like, oh, it's Stewie.
Yeah, Stewie with the hat on.
Luckily, I just have a really big head, so you can't tell.
Same here, buddy. Same here. I'm like, if I ever go buy helmets, like especially when I used to ride motorcycles and stuff all the time, dude, I'm like a 2 or 3X, and depending on the brand, like, it's real bad.
Yeah. I remember the first time I had to get this button clipped when I went to a wedding, and I'm like, there's no shirts big enough. I'm gonna die here.
Oh, dude, that's a never-ending problem for me. Like, in fact, my neck got bigger in the last couple of years because I've gotten older, and it was already bad before. Like, I'm like a 19 to 20 neck. It's fucking stupid. But yeah, I think that's
the biggest problem in the world.
Right? First world problems.
I don't have proper neck dress shirts.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping Bungie does well. That's all that matters.
I think Epic Games will only listen to the popular streamers such as Ninja or Myth when they don't like the playstyle or mechanic of the game. Epic changes it, but become gods and everyone else becomes bots to them. I don't know. That's in terms of Fortnite, sure. I don't know what they really do anymore. I don't really care or give two shits about Fortnite.
I don't think they really listen to anyone.
I mean, they do to some degree.
Throw in random nonsense before tournaments and stuff.
Yeah. So. I mean, I think they only start caring when there's too much outrage. And then when there's too much outrage, they feel like, okay, fine, we'll fucking fix this thing. Like the sword that didn't even last a week.
But you need a little outrage, otherwise it's not in the news. It's not going to make more money.
Right? I mean,
I'll take everything. People don't give a shit until enough people are yelling about it.
Yeah. But when the internet pitchforks come out. But yeah, I think that wraps it up for this week. Do you guys have any other things you want to talk about?
I will just point out that Epic Games has gotten an F from the Better Business Bureau, even though the Better Business Bureau is garbage, and you shouldn't care what they say. Epic Games is also not a good place to work for, apparently. Who would have guessed?
I mean, who would have thunk?
Huh.
Who would have thunk? Oh man, is there anybody else online right now? Let's see. Oh yeah, True's going on. So actually, we're gonna go over and continue this conversation in True Ebag's also new show that actually might be also coming here to Fatbee TV here soon, which is Couches, Consoles, and Conversations. It's literally just a run-of-the-mill, like just couch talk, basically about different topics and everything. And there is his launch episode. So we're gonna go ahead and give him some love, but definitely thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I definitely appreciate it. We're actually going to be changing days again here soon because Friday nights apparently is really hard for a lot of people, and it's just it's Friday night. Who wants to come and do a talk show on Friday night? So we're going to be moving back to Sundays here soon. We're trying to figure out the date.
American football's over.
Yep, American football will be over soon, so we're gonna move back to that probably either right at the end of January or probably early February. But when that comes out, keep an eye on it. We're going to be doing an awesome big community day with a bunch of giveaways. Also, INN and Fatbee TV's apparel line will be launched by then. So there'll be a lot of cool stuff that we're going to be shouting out and give away around that time. So if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely do so when we start posting it. Keep an eye on it. Check it out. Fatbee TV Twitter. Join our Discord. Definitely hang out with all the streamers. Like, we got a lot of cool people here, including Kitty Crusade, Drunk Canadian. These guys are going to be streaming a lot more again here soon. Kitty's actually going to be on tomorrow playing the Breach alpha, so that'll be a lot of fun to see. I'm actually going to be playing the shit out of that next week when it comes out in early access. I'm just super excited about it. I've had a ton of fun with it. I've played the last 4 or 5 early access times, but yeah.
Yeah, your hype has gotten me into it.
I mean, it's fun. I don't know what the long-term goal is right now. Like, I could probably see maybe a good 2 weeks playing it. I want to see what their long game is because, like, obviously it's going to be an early access, so it's going to be essentially their beta phase. So I'm still interested in it. I like the variation in PvE versus PvE and PvP because people can play the monsters also and fuck with you and kill you and do everything else. So that'll be really interesting to see. But yeah, I think that's about it. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. Definitely appreciate it. And we'll see you all next time. Bye, buddy.